Hello! It looks like we are live. I'm A.G. Bilik, the founder of Self-Publishing Mastery, and I welcome you to our first webinar in 2024. Okay, let me mute the YouTube stream. Okay, so this is a webinar that is going to give you some useful tips and tricks, advice, strategies for launching your book in 2024 and making the most out of it. So welcome. Thank you for joining. We are live on the Self-Publishing Mastery YouTube channel. We are live in the Self-Publishing Mastery Facebook group. So if you have questions, please hold on to them because we'll have about 15 minutes at the end of this presentation, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. So let me add my slides to the screen. And so 1, 2, 3, let's dive straight into it. So before I'm sharing with you the tactics and strategies I use to help the authors I work with become #1 Amazon bestsellers, let me share a little bit about myself in case you don't know me. So I am a writer as well, just like you. I started writing when I was 8 years old. In 2012, I got a deal with a publisher in the UK for a book, Four Doors and Other Stories. It was a short story collection, and I was very thrilled to have a traditional publisher. But they didn't do any book marketing. So the book was just sitting there and nobody was buying it because there was no marketing. So later on in 2015 at the London Book Fair, I realized that self-publishing is the way to go for authors who have this entrepreneurial mindset and authors who really want to be really, really dedicated to their craft and who want to turn this passion for writing into into a full-time gig. So I decided to self-publish myself. So the first book I self-published, it's called I Choose Love, A Journey from Fear to Love, became an Amazon bestseller. And then I created Self-Publishing Mastery to help other authors basically be able to learn a new skill set and also to be able to sell their books and connect with their readers. So this is me in a nutshell. So Self-Publishing Mastery has been on the market since 2016. And I'm very proud that last year we were awarded the Best Educational Center in Santa Ana. So that was in 2023. That happened in 2022. The award is somewhere behind me. So we'll see what's happening in 2024. So that's the introduction so that you know who I am and why I am giving this presentation today. So let's dive right into it. So let me go to the next slide. So these are just few of the clients I worked with in the past year. So as you can see, all these books, when they were released as #1 new releases on Amazon. And if you watch my video in the email I sent you, I explain why this is more than just some people will say, oh, this is something really small and this is like something that is good for the ego. And I think it's neither of this, because something as small as this can start something as big as a successful career as an author. And it's also like I think a reward you deserve, all the work and all the passion and time that you put into crafting a book. And this is very important, and I'll explain why as we go through this presentation. So there are a few things that are involved in a book launch campaign. And a book launch campaign has, I would say, 3 major parts. You have the pre-launch activities that happen before the book is actually released on the market. And then you have another group of activities that happen while the book is being released, and it's not just one day, it's more than one day. And then the leg of this whole campaign that typically people ignore are the post-launch activities. So we are going to go through each one of these legs of your book launch campaign, and I will explain to you what what should go into each one of them, because all three are important. All three add up to what you need to do, to actually get the results you want. And I know there are people out there saying, oh, if you sell one book, this is fine. If you touch one person, this is fine. But for people like you and me, for people who are really passionate about writing, who want to have writing as our main, occupation, who are here to make an impact, this is not our goal. Our goal is to reach as many readers as possible, because it is only in doing that that we can make an impact. It is only in doing that that we fulfill our mission. So this is beyond making money. This is making an impact. So please think big. When you think about your writing career, think big and think about all the good that you can bring into other people's lives with your book, and think about the good that can happen in your life when you really go in like 100% and you give it all, and then you're really willing to learn a new skill set, like how to market your book, and you are willing to put yourself out there in your book. All right, so let's get into the pre-launch activities. And this is a time for planning, this is a time for preparation, but it is also a time when you get to implement that plan that you're creating. So this pre-launch phase starts at least 3 months ahead of the official release date of the book. Ideally, if you can put 6 months into it, that's fine. Even if you're, still writing the last lines of your novel or of your nonfiction book, you can also allocate half an hour a day to strategize and plan your book launch campaign. And I want you to also keep in mind, I'm talking about new releases, but a book can always be relaunched. So you can create a new cover, especially if you don't have many reviews, if people don't know much about it, you can always relaunch a book and freshen it up, and then use the same tactics and tools I'm sharing with you today to basically relaunch an old title, because books are evergreen, and everybody loves a good story. Everybody loves a great novel. And when I work with my authors, I usually do what's is known in the industry as a comp title analysis. So I look at similar books in the genre, in the subcategory. And let me tell you something. When it's not romance, which is, by the way, like, it's exploding. This is one of the best sellers in the last year, and it will continue to grow if there are any romance authors out here. But in other genres, many of the titles who are doing really well aren't necessarily the new titles, are older titles. So for those of you who have a book out there, you can always implement these ideas to create a campaign and relaunch your book. So pre-launch, 3 to 6 months, and you start by planning. And the first thing to do when you plan your book launch is decide on the budget. And I have to tell you, yeah, Amazon doesn't charge you to upload your files. Ingram Spark, last year they offset their $49 setup fee, so now it's free. They also give you a free ISBN, but all the rest is not free. The book cover is not free. Editing is not free. Marketing is not free. Even if you decide to learn the skills of book marketing, you still need to invest, in a course, or in maybe in a coach, because I know there is so much free information out there, but really, how long it will take for you to go through all of it and choose what's best for you. So self-publishing is a business. So you have to approach it as an entrepreneur. And like any entrepreneur, when you start out, you need to decide on the budget. And the budget can be $100, $200, 1,000, whatever. That's up to you to decide. And once you decide on the budget, then you can decide on the book marketing activities that fit your budget. Maybe you want to do some paid advertising on Facebook. Maybe you want to do some advertising on book promo websites, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But start with the budget. Maybe you want to hire a virtual assistant to help you with your social media posting. So it's all contingent on the money you're willing to spend, because if you're not going to have a big budget, that means that you're going to have to do a lot of this stuff yourself, and then you have to plan your time and your days, and be very, very, very specific about the activities that you're going to do every day. And then also create a calendar. So the calendar would look like, I use Excel, so that's easy to use. And in an Excel spreadsheet, you can make a list of all the activities that fit within your budget. Some are free, some are not. And then, have like months. Let's say we are in January. So let's say you decide to start in February. So have February, March, April, May, June, July. And then each month you have 4 or 5 weeks, and decide every week what's going to happen. So that's the timeline. So you work in reverse from the date, the release date. And by the way, when you decide on the release date, think about your target audience, and the theme of your book, the genre. Some genres do well, some in summer. Maybe you want to, do the book launch during the fall. Maybe that's a better time. So you need to decide on that. And then once you decide, okay, this is the best time for me to release the book, then you work backwards, and then you plan. And then you decide on the strategy and the tactics that you're going to use during the pre-launch and during the launch and post-launch phases of the campaign. Okay, let's move forward. And I already shared with you, so the duration should be 3 to 6 months. And what is the goal of the pre-launch, especially if you're just starting out? So let's say you don't have a huge email list, you don't have a ton of followers on social media. What do you want to do? Well, you need to build this up. So you need to build your email list, and you need to build your social media following. But if you're doing this organically, that's going to take a long time. So during this phase of your book launch campaign, your goal is to build anticipation and excitement. Let me tell you something. People make decisions based on emotions. So you need to tap into your potential readers' emotions and have them be interested in your book. Another thing to keep in mind is that typically someone, like a person like me, a person like you, we need to see a message about a new product, a new something, a new webinar, something that's asking for our attention or potentially money at least 7 times before we decide to really look into it and make a decision about it. So again, if you're just starting out, keep that in mind, that you need to put yourself out there and build anticipation and excitement with people who might not even know you. Because if you already have fans, that's easy. I mean, your fans, your loyal readers are always going to be excited for your new product. And I'm working with Dale Aronson, who's been a #1 bestseller in the motorcycle history category since his book was launched. And I can tell you, ever he released a new book this year, and it was released as a #1 new release, partly because his loyal readers who are all over the world were so eager to buy his next book that we were able to capitalize on that readership and release the book as a #1 on Amazon. So build it, anticipation and excitement. Keep that in mind and think, what makes you, what excites you, what makes you look forward to something, and think about your readers, your potential readers. Everybody's talking about creating your reader avatar. So what would create excitement in that person? What would that make that person want to read your book? So a few things that go into the pre-launch phase of your book launch campaign. So that's when you build your launch street team. You need to find a group of people who ideally they are also ARC readers. Some of them, they can be beta readers. So people who really love your writing and people who really like you and connect with you. So these people will be like your, if you were a country, if you were the United States of America, well, these people, imagine them, picture them as your ambassadors. So they would be your ambassadors to other countries. Only these people would be your ambassadors to other readers, to their communities, to their friends. And they would, during the book launch, they will help you spread the word about the book. They will be able to post on your social media, on their social media. They will tell their friends. So they will be your advocates and loyal supporters. During the pre-launch, you can work. If you already have an email list, just make sure you keep those people in the loop. You send them emails periodically, letting them know that you're working on the book, letting them know that you're making progress, doing something special for them, like doing a book cover reveal for them. And you can do the same for the book launch street team. You should create, for the book launch street team, create a place where you guys can meet. Maybe, like a close private Facebook group, and there you can stay in touch with them and engage with them. So email list, if you don't have an email list during the book launch, during the pre-launch, excuse me, this is a good time for you to offer something that can be like a lead magnet. That's what we call it. So create something, maybe, if you have a novel. I recently did some coaching sessions with another client, and she's going to release this year YA sci-fi book, and it's a wonderful book, but she has no email list. So we decided that she can, because there were many, like in the movies, some scenes are cut. So she's going to take some of the scenes that didn't make it into the book and create like a prequel, and then offer that as a lead magnet on the website. And this is a great way, especially if this is your first book, to let people get familiar with your writing. And if you have that 6 months in advance, imagine those people have time to read your novella or maybe a short story, love it, give you feedback, and then when you tell them that, oh, my book is coming out, they're going to be excited, because you already build this family rapport with them, and they get to know you. Pre-launch phase, building assets, that's an important thing you need to do, because during the launch phase, there you will have so much to do that you will want to have everything in place. So building assets means creating an editorial calendar for your social media, making sure you have captions ready, pictures ready, videos ready. And that's where, if you have a virtual assistant or someone who is good with social media, that person can help you with that and take it off your plate, especially if you're, still have a day job. So you only have as much time on your hands during 24 hours. So these assets are really important, and they need to be built during the pre-launch campaign. And then also you need to start sharing these assets with the world during this stage. So that's why I mentioned social media campaigns. So start posting on your social media channels that content. Very important also during this stage is, as I said, to build excitement and anticipation. And you do this by putting yourself out into the world and letting people know who you are. And this connects to another topic that is very dear to me. This is author branding. But that's the good time to start your media relations campaign. This is a term that's very familiar for people who work in PR, and this means that you use the power of media outlets that have a built-in audience to put yourself in front of your potential readers. And back in the day, media relations meant that you would get featured in the mainstream media, meaning traditional media. But nowadays, media relations means more than just traditional mainstream media. It means that there are so many influencers out there. There are bookstagrammers. They are people on TikTok who have large audiences. There are also people who have podcasts. So when you're starting out, it's probably not likely that unless you're Michelle Obama, but if you're an author, probably Louis Hawes, for example, he has one of the biggest podcasts in this country. It's called The School of Greatness. Maybe you've heard of him, and he interviewed Oprah Winfrey and all the big names. So probably you won't get on Louis Hawes's podcast, but there are smaller podcasts that that are looking for guests. And the good thing is that you can grow together. So you start small. You can start with the with the local media in your town, in your county, in your state, and you get in front of potential readers. So you get to be featured. And during the pre-launch, also another important aspect is to garner social proof. Again, you're just starting out. If you're just starting out, then you have to convince your potential readers that it's worth for them to invest their time and money into your book. So how do you do that? But by garnering this social proof, meaning that there are websites such as NetGalley, which allow you to list your book for a fee. And NetGalley has a wide number of people registered as reviewers. So those people, if you have a catchy cover and a catchy book description, they will request your book, and they will write a review, and then you will be able to use that review as an editorial review. On Facebook, there are groups, and I use some of those groups that connect readers with book bloggers. So while your manuscript is still, even in the final editing stage, proofreading stage, you can connect with book bloggers who are interested in books in your genre, and tell them that you have this book coming out, and see who would be interested in reading it. But you have to be very specific about the terms and conditions of your collaborations. Some people charge, but many people don't charge. They are just happy to be the first one to read the book. And then they are going to post a review on Goodreads. They're going to post a review on Amazon. So it is very, very important that when the book goes live on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, let's not forget about other major retailers, Barnes and Noble, Apple Books, Google Play. So make sure, not Draft to Digital, Kobo, Canada. So make sure you have people posting the reviews when your book goes live on all these platforms. That's the social proof. And also that number one new release, that's also a big social proof. People will say, hey, they don't know. Sometimes in a small category, all that it takes for a book to become number one in that category is 10 sales a day. But the readers, they don't know it. They will see it's a number one new release and they'll think, oh, number one new release, this is worth it, right? We tend to gravitate towards the winners, not the losers. So that's also part of the social proof. Next slide. Now we are getting to discuss the launch phase of the book. And by the way, you can put your book on pre-order way ahead of the launch. The sales happening during the pre-order, they count towards your overall ranking. So some books, they become number one new releases while they are still on pre-order. So if you use the tactics I showed you earlier, then you can achieve that status while during pre-order. And the other thing is, let's say you get on an interview, then you can already share with people that link for the pre-order. So on Amazon, you can set up a pre-order for your ebook, not so much for the book. Right now, Amazon allows you to schedule the release date of your book, so you can upload the files and Amazon will release it during is on the precise date when you decide. But as of now, there is no possibility for a self-published author to set up a pre-order for the paperback. That's a different strategy. That's a whole different story to do that. Okay, so let's recap before we dive into the launch. Pre-launch, make sure you get your launch street team in place. Make sure you get as much exposure as you can, getting interviews, getting on podcasts, getting interviewed in the local media, doing a social media campaign. You can also do some newsletter swaps with other authors in your genre. So all these things will help you to get in front of your potential readers. Book launch. That is the most exciting time. Actually, this is the most exciting time of your book launch campaign, because that's when everything kind of falls into place. Everything is ready to go. And everybody's very excited. You are excited. Your street team is excited. Your family is excited. Your friends are excited. And hopefully all these new readers that are liking you on social media and that are subscribing to your email list. So launch campaign. Typically it lasts for, I would say, about a week. Why? Because I know many people, they want this. I want to be a New York Times bestseller. I want to be a USA Today bestseller author. From my experience and talking to other experts in the industry, honestly, it's nice to see that on the cover, but honestly, it's not such a big deal. You have to move to do that about 5,000 books. And some authors buy those books through various channels, or they hire someone who charges them six figure to do that, and they don't even break even. And then that's it. It's gone. So what you want to do during your book launch and after is to trigger these steady sales. Amazon love steady sales. When they see steady sales, they go like, oh, no, the algorithm. Oh, this is a product that sells. It sells consistently. So, okay, I'm going to give it a little boost and put it in front of more people because I'm making money. You're making money. I'm making money. Everybody's happy. So You don't want to, have a spike in sales in one day and then, it's flat, it's dead. You want to build this momentum throughout the week and then keep it going. So what can you do during the book launch campaign? Well, so this happens when the book goes live. And here, you can play with the price point. If you're starting out, do a lower price point. This allows you to, tell people my book releases this week, and if you're going to buy it now, you're going to get it at this lower price point. This applies to the ebook, by the way. So the paperback hardcover, you don't mess with the price there. But with the ebook, it's really easy, to to take $1 off and offer it for $1.99, $2.99. Don't do free. It's not worth to give your book away for free during the book launch, because people don't appreciate free stuff. I mean, they do, but they take it for granted. There are many people out there who hoard these free books. They never read them, and let alone leave a review. So, but you can do a lower price point. During the book launch, that's very important that, all your communication activities, you magnify them like 100%. You email your lists, you post on social media more, you build all this, like buzz, like, oh, this is my big day for me. So you keep doing all that, the media relations, the posting, and you can also, during this time, that's when you use the book promo website. So you stack book promo after book promo after book promo. And I know BookBub is the holy grail. It's also insanely costly. And some people don't even break even. Remember what I told you. You are an entrepreneur. So your goal in this is not only to get your book in front of the readers. Your goal is to make money, really, because we have bills to pay and because we deserve to have a good life, right? So, that's your goal, at least, to break even. So don't put money into something that might not give you the return on investment that you deserve. But there are other book promo websites which are genre targeted. So you look for book promo websites who have email lists that target readers interested in your genre, and then you can stack up those book promo appearances throughout the week. You can do 3, you can do 5. There is Fussy Librarian, there is Bargain Booksy, there are offers on Fiverr. So there are many many options out there which are not going to make you break the bank. This is another topic for a video that I posted on our Self-Publishing Mastery Instagram channel. So you don't want to break the bank, especially if you're starting out and you want to test things and see how they work. And then, whatever works, you keep. And then whatever doesn't work, you stop using that. So doing this book promo websites campaign during your book launch. And by the way, these book promo websites, they promote bargain books. So you will be able to get a slot if your book is, I think its maximum is $2.99. So you won't make a ton of money, but you might make a ton of sales. And at this point, your goal is to get the readers to read your book. Especially if you have a series, the first book in a series is typically called The Lost Leader. Or if you write a nonfiction book, on a nonfiction book, your book is like at the the beginning of your sales funnel. So people are going to read your book, and then if they love your book, they can go onto your website and sign up for your programs, retreats, group coaching, whatever your business is. All right. So with the book promo websites, if you stack them throughout the week, then you will have these steady sales. Amazon will, see you as as a product that people want, your book, and then it will push your book organically, so you won't have to pay. um, During this launch week, it's also worth testing Amazon ads, because you will get the sales. If you've done the work before, you will have the social proof, you will have the reviews. And by the way, people who are on your book launch street team, people who are receiving our copies of the book, just email them the day before your book launch and let them know, hey, tomorrow the book is going live on Amazon, because customer reviews are disabled during pre-order, so they can only be posted once the book goes live. So let them know that the book is live and ask them to go and post their reviews. All right, so back to the book launch. So you have all this in place. So you have the sales, you have the social proof, hopefully 4.5 5-star reviews. So if you do Amazon ads at the same time, this is going to keep the snowball rolling and get it bigger. So this is a good time to play with that and see how it works. So you don't have to maybe set up a $5 budget a day. That's all. You don't want to spend like hundreds of dollars, and see how it works. Again, book launch. And then another aspect, or another important component of the book launch, is the book launch event in itself. This is something I really love. And the book launch event, it can be online, and that's what we did. Dale Aronson and I, last year on December 1st, we did a virtual book launch event, because he has readers all over the world. So we promoted it on social media. We promoted it to his email list. We promoted it in his Facebook group. So everybody was excited. We picked a time that kind of worked for different time zones. And Dale came on the screen, and he answered questions, and he read from his book. So it lasted for about 16 minutes, and he had a great response. It was amazing. And a few minutes later, after we ended, the book was a #1 new release on Amazon. So you can do it like that, or you can do it in person. And by the way, I see many people, they want to go and have book signings and Barnes and Noble. I know it's Barnes and Noble, but come on, you can do better than that. For example, in Romania, that's where I'm from, that's where I was born, but I did release a Romanian version of my short story collection over there. And I did a book launch event that was completely, different to the typical book signing. So I rewrote one of the stories as a monologue, and then I added video projections. I have dancers, I have a musician playing live. So it all turned out into a great event, like a live performance of different arts. And we had like about 200 people there. And we got national television coverage, we got social media coverage. So it was amazing, because it was out of the box. It gave people an experience. And those people in the attendance, believe me, I think 10 of them were my family and friends, and all the other people were, just people who showed up because they saw, an article in a newspaper, they heard a radio show. So this is the power of media relations. So think about something that you can do in your city. You can go to, maybe you can go to, it all depends on your book. So what I'm saying, it doesn't have to be Barnes and Noble. You can if it's a fitness book, it can be at a fitness studio. If it's a children's book, maybe it's a toy store. There are many ways. And also, don't discount the local public libraries. Local public libraries are always open to host events by local authors. They also have big email lists. So that's another place where you can go. But come on, you are a creative person, so make it creative. And if you have a book launch, and it can also be hybrid, so you can hire someone when you do an in-person book launch event. You can hire a videographer, and then you can live stream it, onto your social media platforms. And this would allow people who are not in your in your neighborhood to attend the book launch event. But this would give you something extra to communicate with your with your um, with your audience, and this will certainly give you something extra to communicate to the journalists in your town, and get you some extra coverage. And by the way, this is for free. I forgot to mention that media relations is about creating the best story about you and your book, so that when you pitch yourself to be interviewed, the journalist or the podcaster will say, "Oh my God, you have such an amazing story, and my audience will love it. So yeah, sure, I would love to talk about you and your book and your story." So this is free. So when people, come after you, and they want to charge you hundreds of dollars to be on a podcast or on a show or in an interview, please say no, because it's very interesting how oftentimes shows that don't have a lot of traction, they are the one who that are going to pursue you and ask you to pay them money. Really believe in yourself and the value that you're bringing to the audience, and then you will see that people will support you on your journey. So this is the book launch campaign, basically the book launch week. Let's recap. So during that time, you keep posting on social media, you engage your readers by sending them emails, you do the book promo websites campaign. So you stack different promos, different days. You can also experiment with Amazon ads same time. You make sure you tell your ARC readers to post their reviews. And what can be very, very helpful and very delightful for you, it would be to have this book launch event, whether you decide to do it in person, or you decide to do it online, or you do it in person and someone streams it live. You have many options. So this would be the book launch phase, which typically lasts for about a week from the day the book goes live on Amazon. Your ebook and your paperback, they should definitely go live at the same time, same day. And the hardcover, if you want to do a hardcover, you can do a hardcover. And the audiobook, you can do it later. This will give you some, let people get familiar with the book, get more social proof. Once you have that, then you can go into, oh, I'm going to release the audiobook, because people who really love your book, they're going to buy the audiobook as well. Okay, and last phase of your book launch campaign is the, oh, we already talked about this, promo price, media relations. All right, okay, so we already covered that. So let's go into the post book launch campaign. Okay, so what is this? This is where you keep the momentum going. And this is where you get more sales. And by the way, never stop promoting your book. Your book is evergreen. So keep promoting it, keep talking about it, keep doing the interviews, keep posting on social media. And of course, if you release a new title, you just put aside the old title and kind of repeat the same process for the new title. But always stay in the limelight, never go away. So the post-launch campaign, it can really take a month. And this is where you take all the accomplishments that happened during your that week book launch campaign, the number one new release, raving reviews, pictures from your book launch, videos from your book launch. Even if you do, if you do an online book launch campaign, I'm using StreamYard, for example. So StreamYard is a great program because, and I'm not an affiliate, nothing like that, but I've been using it for a while and I really like it because, as you can see today, you can create branding. So you can create a very nice backdrop. You can create, you can make it nice, like really nice. You can stream it to multiple destinations, and then you can record the book launch, and then you can repurpose it. You can, like cut it in smaller videos. There are other programs out there that can do that for you, and then you can post it on your social media. You can share it in your newsletter. You can share it in your Facebook group. So there are many ways in which you can use all this content. Basically, your book launch campaign, so that specific week, gives you a ton of content, which after that part of the campaign is over, you can repurpose, and so that you let the people who didn't make it, who weren't able to be there, who weren't able to attend, who kind of missed that whole thing. So you use that content to get new readers. So you keep posting on social media, you keep building your email list, and now you can change it. So you can still use the same lead magnet, but you can say, hey, did you love my book? If you love my book, and that's what I did with my first novel, In My Life on Tender trilogy. At the end of the book, because some people will buy the book without looking at my website. They just see an ad on Amazon or a post on social media, and at the back of the book I have, if you like this story, you can read the prequel by going to my website and signing up to my email list. So you can keep building your email list. You keep the momentum by doing interviews, and now you can share, hey, I'm a #1 Amazon bestseller author. So you have a ton of things to share with your readers. Okay, and please keep your book page updated on Amazon. So you have the customer reviews that will come in organically, but let's say you get more reviews on NetGalley, right? So those are editorial reviews. So you can post those reviews on your book page. You can update the book page with, let's say you submit your book to Reader's Favorite and you get a 5-star review from Reader's Favorite. So you update the book page with that review and you mention Reader's Favorite. Maybe you decide to submit your book to an award, like award contest, literary award contest, and you get an award. So you update your bio. Now you're an award-winning author. Now that's an award-winning book. So keep that page updated with the social proof, because this is important. So post-launch campaign, I think the most important thing that you can do is just take all the content that was created during the launch and repurpose it and use it as social proof, and use it to show how valuable is your book and your story, and keep the momentum going. Don't just go off the radar. Keep being present and keep building these connections with your fans. All right, so we are almost at the end of this presentation. So right now I'm going to open it up for questions. If there are any questions, please just write them in a comment. If you're on YouTube, just write it there in a comment. Facebook, just let me know. But before you do that, I just want to share with you something that I've created. And if you really want to master this whole process of a book launch campaign and get even deeper, because today we only have so much time, so I was able to give you only that much information, but I would love to hold your hand through the process and look at your book and give you like really specific advice on how to leverage all these tools and apply them. So I have this online group training. I call it a mastermind because it's really small, and it is small also because I like to be able to work together and give feedback to every person, and then work together in groups, in teams, and give each other feedback and support each other. So this is coming up in February, and you can see here the description, and this is the curriculum. So we would meet for about 90 minutes weekly for 4 weeks in a row. We'll have assignments in between each session. There will be replays available. I will give feedback and advice to each one of you. And this is only $295. So this is available to you. This price typically is $495, but just for you is $295. So that's a special price that's available today. And let me know if you're interested. I have so I'm going to put the link. Okay, let me copy if you want to take a look. So I'm going to, so I think you can see it. So I'm going to put it here on, it's in the comment on YouTube. All right. So if you have questions, you can also email me at contact@selfpublishingmastery.com. And I really love to help you guys make 2024 the best year so far for your book launches and for your for your writing career. But let's make 2024 the best year so far. All right. So if you have questions, now is the time. We have about 8 minutes left. So just write your question in the chat and let me know. And I'll be happy to answer. If there are no questions, I think I'm going to just wrap it up. And thank you for being here today. And just keep an eye on the newsletter. We are sending it out on a monthly basis. And we have tips, advice, and definitely we'll do more webinars. And I would really love to get together weekly in the Self-Publishing Mastery group. I know some of you join it, and I'm very grateful for that. It's wonderful to have a community. So here's the link again. If you're watching on YouTube, that's where you can join. This is part of my vision for Self-Publishing Mastery, was to create this safe space where self-published authors can connect, can connect and build a community and collaborate and learn from one another. So if you haven't joined the group, please do. And since we have no questions, look like we've covered everything. Thank you again for being here today. You have the link for the program if you want to join. Limited spots available. Limited price, special price $295 if you join today, or you have until Sunday evening. Thank you again for being here today, and I'll see you next time. Until then, like I always say, happy writing and happy publishing. Thank you.